Now let's look at case 2, when lambda equals 2y. We're going to take lambda equals 2y and substitute it back into the three equations, 1, 2, and 3. Plugging into equation 1, we get that 2yx equals 2xy. That doesn't really give us any new information. Plugging into equation 2, if we replace the lambda with 2y, we get 2y squared equals x squared minus y squared. And if we add y squared to each side of that, that says that 3y squared is the same as x squared. So that's my new equation 2. And equation 3 didn't contain any lambdas, so we'll just bring it along. Y cubed minus 3x squared equals 1. I'm just checking to make sure I copied that right. That feels incorrect. No, it's y cubed minus 3x squared y equals 1. There we go. So basically we're looking at this system of two equations in two variables. Notice that this x squared, which is equal to 3y squared, could be substituted in here. So y cubed minus 3 times 3y squared times y equals 1. So y cubed minus 9y cubed equals 1. So negative 8y cubed is 1. So we get that y cubed is negative an eighth, or by taking cube roots, y is negative a half. If you want to be super careful, remember that this cubic equation is going to have 3 solutions. This is one of the 3, and the other 2 are complex. So we know the y coordinate, and then we also know that x squared is the same as 3y squared. So if I substitute that back into equation 2, I have that x squared is 3y squared, which is 3 times negative a half squared, or 3/4. So if x squared is 3/4, x is plus or minus the square root of 3 over 2. So combining that with this, I get 2 more solutions for case 2. There'll be the square root of 3 over 2, comma negative a half, negative the square root of 3 over 2, negative a half. And that gives us 3 different points that we need to check so that we can figure out which one represents the minimum value of this function. So the 3 points are 0, 1, square root of 3 over 2, negative a half, and negative square root of 3 over 2, negative a half. Let's plug each one of those into the function f. Remember, our function is x squared plus y squared, so 0 squared plus 1 squared is 1. Here, I'll have the square root of 3 over 2 squared plus negative a half squared, which is 3/4 plus a 4th, or 1. And down here, negative square root of 3 over 2 squared plus negative a half squared, which is 1 again. So that kind of confirms it. The minimum value of f is 1, and it happens at all 3 of these points.